Hey guys, it's Michelle, and I am here to talk about who you can trust online, specifically about business, what you can trust online, specifically about business, because it has come to my attention that I am not the only one talking to women entrepreneurs about creating wild success on their own terms. And so who knew, right? So I just wanted to come to you guys and sort of discuss like how I know what to what to listen to, who to listen to, how I kind of cut through the BS and figure out where the nuggets are. And I wanted to just share this because one of the most disheartening things for me to see is an entrepreneur who goes all in, following the wrong guru, following the wrong mentor, when that mentor maybe hasn't figured it out herself or himself yet, and they buy a list of goods that frankly hasn't even been proven. And the key for me, the heartbreak for me, is not so much like she might have wasted her money, but a lot of people walk away from business and their marriage is strained to such a degree because they've invested and it's not working, and things start getting muddled. And so I felt just really compelled. I was actually reading an article by Dan Kennedy. I might have it. Actually, I do have it in here. He was talking about a guru, right, who is selling his social media thing, like his social media tools. He's selling how he went from like $4 million a year to $100 million a year, and he did this over 5 years, and he did it using social media, but he is selling this program to you via a radio ad, right? And so it's like people, he was talking about this, like it used to be that, hustlers, people who were lying to you and trying to get your money, it used to be that they would kind of hide their back room like little stuff, and now they don't, which frankly, if we're discerning, if we start to think critically about things, then it's easier for us to make sense of the BS from the rest, right? And so here's what I want, and this is not so much like Join Women Who Wow, although Join Women Who Wow. But it's also like there's a lot of things I don't teach, and you need to know how to figure out what, even if it's like fitness stuff, diet stuff, social media stuff, technology stuff. You got to know who you can listen to online, and that list is going to always change. However, the fundamental like truths that help us figure out who to trust, what to trust online, are always the same, right? So the first thing that you want to ask yourself when you're listening to a mentor is what they're saying true? Now, if you are, if you have no idea about that industry, like you might not know, but you can kind of see like things that are true are always true. So does it apply across application lines? Like what they're saying, could it be true if it applies to your marriage or your fitness goals or whatever, right? So true is always true. And that's I put that out there first because it's the hardest, I guess, hurdle to get over. But you don't have to know. So that's just one thing. Like, is it true? Is it true? And so like if it's true, it's always true. It applies no matter the strategy, if it's true, should apply no matter where you apply it, or should work no matter where you apply it. The second thing that is very, very important is what they're selling congruent? Does it match what they're doing, right? So are they selling you something and doing something else to create their own success? I'll give you a quick example. I saw this person, and I actually grew to respect this person, but he was selling the invisible money machine, I think is what it was called. The invisible money machine, right? And it was like on stage, and he would say like, I've been to 30 states in the past 37 days selling the invisible money machine that you can put on autopilot, and you just get money from the couch. And I'm thinking, well, Why didn't you just make money from your couch? Why are you schlepping from airport to airport if 30 states over 37 days, right? Like, to me, it's like that was not congruent. I immediately was a whole lot less interested in his like invisible money machine because he wasn't using it, right? Like it was incongruent. So like when the Google ad salesman knocks on my office door to sell me on a cold call, right? A cold call with boots on the pavement, and they're going to sell me on a Google ad, I immediately think less of the Google ad, right? Because I'm thinking, why didn't you use a Google ad to get me? And so, just like that one guy I told you about that I was reading about, where he's selling all this social media like magic, and in the end, he's using a radio ad. So you see what I'm saying? Like, is it congruent? I always look at what people are doing versus what they are selling. If they are selling something and they're not doing it, or they're no longer doing it, then I lose trust in that person. So as an example, I teach and talk about content marketing, right? Content marketing. If I didn't get your attention or sell you with content marketing, you should be a bit suspicious, right? Like, give me a thumbs up if you think that's funny. People don't see irony these days. They don't see irony, and we need to start seeing when something is incongruent, right? We need to start seeing, well, why is she's selling this, but she's doing that, right? So this should be funny to us, and it should be a red flag that maybe we should not trust that person or that system. The third lens that you've got to see anybody selling you anything through, the third lens has got to be longevity. And I'm not just saying, have they been around 60 years? I'm not saying, have they been around 20 years or whatever. Longevity in that topic, right? That indicates mastery. And so I'm always like, I'm looking at the newcomers. Do not ever get me wrong. Like, I'm looking at them. I understand like that, some like Gary Vaynerchuk, he was a newcomer. I remember when he tried to sell me personally, sitting beside him, he was speaking at my event, and he was like doing this new thing, and I forget what social media platform it was. Here's what I know. I never joined it, and it's no longer around. So, I'm suspicious of brand new things. I want to see how things work out. Like, the truth is, the first people who were the first pioneers going out west, they're the ones who ended up with arrows in their back, right? Like, I'm going to weigh things out a little bit. So, longevity about a specific topic indicates mastery. So the truth is, I wasn't quite sure about Gary Vee at the beginning, right? I didn't know how long he'd last. He's the first person I ever saw like cussed on stage. Like, is there a palette for? I didn't know, right? But I watched, and now I'm paying a whole lot more attention to what he's doing and how he's doing it, because he has that trust factor of longevity. So those are the three little lenses that you can view somebody through. And again, this isn't about like buy for me. This is about whether you're buying fitness advice or marriage advice, right? And by the way, like the most famous marriage authors of marriage books, they've been divorced a couple times. And so it's like, you got to be careful, right? It's like a little bit of incongruent. What they should say is like what not to do in a marriage to keep it together. And so you want to make sure that you are, no matter what you're getting advice for, you can put it through these three lenses. Is it true? Meaning, is it always true? Right? Truth is always true. Is it congruent? Is what they're saying congruent with what they're doing? If not, they're doing something else to get their results that you're wanting, and they're selling you. It's like, you got to distrust that. And the third is, do they have longevity? And not just like, have they been famous a long time? Do they have longevity? So let's just say that, like Oprah, right? Oprah is, she's now, obviously bought into Weight Watchers, and as an investor or owner or something like that. And so is she the skinniest? Absolutely not. And I have said, like, I don't really want to get weight loss advice for her because her weight always comes back, right? But she also has longevity in that kind of field. So she immediately has credibility. You got to make sure who you're listening to has longevity and mastery. Longevity and mastery in their area that they're trying to sell you advice on. So, and this is selling you even if it's selling you on free advice, right? Because the truth is, as I said at the beginning of this, my heart aches not because they lost money on a program they bought. My heart aches when they put in the money and then they invest the time and their heart and soul and blood and sweat and tears, and they go into it and they put everything in on a wrong strategy, an unproven strategy, a flawed strategy, and then they give up because they think it's them. They think it's them. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I am so excited to be leaving for Dallas tomorrow for the Monetize one-day intensive. Cannot wait for that. So for you guys I'm seeing in Dallas, it's going to be an intimate event. I cannot wait to roll up my sleeves and do this work with you. And if you guys have any questions for me about business or success or branding, message me, m.me, Women Who Wow, /Women Who Wow, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.